Kinds of Speed by me, illustrated by me, and published by me.
Who's me?
Elizabeth D'Amicis.
Okay. Just had to be sure.
Steve was a boy with long arms, curly hair, big blue eyes, and a big blue cape. Steve was very smart. He lived in a house that was crooked, the door was off, and the top of the house looked like wood pieces were sticking out everywhere. Steve lives in a big city. He has no job, but the mayor needs a hero. So Steve runs to the mayor to tell him he wants the job. But then he noticed he has the power of speed. When he got there, he told the mayor all about how he wants the job and about his power of speed. The mayor decides that he can have the job. Steve was so excited that he got the job he wanted. So then he was going home and saw a house on fire. So quickly he decided how to save them. So he ran to the house on fire and he tried to get some water, but it burned his hands. So he thinks since the house is on fire, the water must be on fire too. So now that the water is on fire, he has to fire in water that is not on fire. So he runs to the neighbor's house and the only water he can find is toilet water. So he goes to their shed and tries to find buckets to put water in, but he can't find any buckets. Steve decides he will use his mouth instead. So he runs to the neighbor's bathroom and gets water out of their toilet and spits it on the fire. Steve does it over and over again, and within minutes he finally gets the fire out. After that, Steve was tired, so he went home to rest because it was a long day. After Steve rested, he went out of his house for a walk. And he saw a man robbing a house. Steve asked himself, should I put the robber in a cage? He thought about it for a minute and decided he should. So he ran to get the robber, then he grabbed him, and within a flash, they were in this desert. So Steve put him in a cage and locked it. Next, he created a trail of chocolate pudding. Steve made a trail so a big monster will come. He waited, and wow, then something happened. A remarkably big gummy worm appeared, and the boy said, don't scream. If you do, the gummy worm will eat you. But the robber did not listen, so he was caught, and he was too concentrated on the gummy worm. So the robber was finally afraid of the gummy worm, so he screamed, and the gummy worm came after the robber and ate him. Steve had to decide something fast so the gummy worm does not eat him too. Steve thought for a minute and decided that he can scare the gummy worm away, but how? Steve thinks for another minute. He has an idea. Steve began circling around the gummy worm faster and faster, and with so much speed, he formed the face of a crocodile with the sand. That scared the gummy worm so much that he violently shook and broke up into thousands of pieces. Steve gathered up all the pieces and put them into little bags and handed them out to the townspeople for a fun treat. And that's where gummy worms came from. So now Steve went home. He was very tired because of a lot of things just happened. He put out a fire, captured a man robbing a house, and scared a giant gummy worm down into stuffed little bags of Haribo gummy treats, all with his powers. Steve did not like his job anymore, so he decides to tell the mayor that he wants to quit his job. But the mayor tells him he can't quit the job because he sucked up all the water from the toilets. Then the mayor tells Steve he has to work for the mayor for life or he will go to jail. Steve decides to run away. So Steve takes across the country and comes across a huge river. So now Steve tries to jump over the river, but he jumps too high and lands on the moon. That's where Steve makes his new home, so he can stay away from the evil toilet mayor. The end.
That was just cute. You'll have to send that to me. That was just